Nope.
How's it going, everyone? It's Friday. Right here at the cuff of the weekend. I'm excited. I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited. And thank you for tuning in and watching. And those that have been commenting or finding different forms of contacting us and letting us know that you liked what we're doing here. It's those little things that make a big difference. So please continue to let us know and like and comment and share us. Sharing is a huge factor right now. And, just if you share us, that makes a big difference here in my little world. Moving on. I've been seeing the polls coming out for Biden. I mean, been talking about it almost every week. They just been dropping. The national mood is dropping also. So a poll from YouGov and The Economist, only 30% say the country is on the right track. Only 30%. Almost twice that many, 55% think we're on the wrong track. 14% not sure. To those 14% that are not sure, I don't know what you've been doing or where you've been at. But for me, we're falling apart greatly every day. From this same poll, how would you describe the state of the economy? Excellent. 2%. Only 2% have said excellent. This is a big drop from the counterpart of last year. Good. How is the economy? 22% say good. 70% of the country say it's fair or poor. 36% fair, 34% poor. That is a big dip from last time. And when you look at this poll, something that stands out, it's like if you go through these polls, and there's several of them, I'll bring up one, something hits you when they start breaking this down. How many Hispanic reported that the economy has been excellent? 0.0%. You hardly see this in any polls. You don't see a 0.0%. These polls are made to get numbers. Zero, none of the Hispanics are finding the economy good. We are starting to see a huge swing in African Americans and Hispanics right now. I think they're starting to wake up. They're starting to see that there is a party out there that says that they're for you, but just like everything they say, it's a lie. So when we look at everything, this is, pretty good news for the conservative side, but we could have told you this. I mean, in fact, many of us believe that he's not rightfully in that position that he's holding. But as far as Democrats go, what are they thinking? Is there Biden buyer remorse? If the elections were held today, imagine if they were held today. In these polls that I was scanning and going through, 13% of Democrats that voted for Biden now say they regret the choice, and if the election was held today, they would vote for Donald Trump. Think about that. 13%. 14% of Black Americans regret their vote for Joe Biden. Right now, if the elections were held, only 37% of Democrats would vote for Joe Biden right now. Expand the picture just a little bit. If we go off of these numbers alone, that would be a 6+% net for Donald Trump if the election was held today. 6% greater than what he was held. And he only lost as far as now. I don't believe he lost, but if you go and look up the 2020 elections, he lost. I think it was only by like 1, to, I'll go ahead and say 3%, but he only lost by a couple percent. Each one of those states, the 5 pay-to-play states, they were only lost by a percent or so. I mean, averaging wise. So that alone right there would secure a Donald Trump victory. But there's a big picture, and we're going to go into this here in a minute, but we can't go living off of what coulda, shoulda, or anything. But this tells you we have a president that leads from behind in a basement. He's off on vacation. Now apparently he is back at the White House, but lots of press members are complaining because they have his flight charts set that he's supposed to go back to Delaware until this next Sunday, but they are not updating or anything, and they usually update a week in advance. They're not getting any information. And we talked about before all this coming out, before people making a big deal, Joe was going to Delaware 20 times, and the logs really weren't, nobody had any information. The logs weren't opened. And when they asked the press secretary, she gave her BS answer. It wasn't a real answer, and it wasn't even an answer in itself. So, we got COVID that is deadly. We got terrorists running wild over in Afghanistan, American citizens trapped and dying, poor innocent Afghanis over there dying, and poll numbers dropping like crazy on a daily and weekly basis. And what is Joe doing? It's almost like he doesn't care. He probably doesn't care, but he probably has the lack of the capacity to be able to actually understand what's going on. Now, start helping in the bigger picture. So the question was asked, how many American citizens still trapped in Afghanistan? This was asked to John Kirby, the Defense Department press secretary. His answer, I don't know. Out of the several of thousands already evacuated, only 300 were Americans. Let me repeat that. Out of the thousands that were already evacuated, only 300 were American. How important are American safety? Looking at this track record of this administration, not very important. In July, Biden's State Department knew of the collapse of Afghanistan and sent information to top Biden aide Antony Blinken. I can screw up names even when I'm reading it. But yet Biden still chooses to recklessly pull us out. There was agreements in place from the previous administration. The State Department knew of the collapse, this Antony guy, and nothing. And Biden's response was to this, nobody told me anything that I could remember. That you could remember. I mean, this is just crazy. This recklessness is harming our military, our American citizens, and the Afghanistan citizens that have nothing and have began to learn to depend on us. Have you seen the videos of our soldiers trying to teach them, the Afghanistan soldiers? They couldn't even do jumping jacks right. Now, I'm not the best person in shape. Probably could do 5, but hey, I could do 5 perfect jumping jacks. You pulled us out, Joe. You only do that when you're not wanting to get a girl pregnant. Do not pull us out too early, Joe. American citizens in every track do not matter to you. They didn't matter in Afghanistan. They don't matter here in America. You want to lock us down. You want to waterboard our children. You want to keep masks on us. You want to keep booster shotting us. And, you're sitting there telling us now that Pfizer and Miranda, or whatever that other one is called, now is approved to keep getting you booster shots. You're wanting to keep us all doped up, stupid. When's our next shot, Mr. President? Also, you can stay or what? Or to help China. All this going on, all this pandemic going on, all this crap going on in the Middle East. The lack of security for our American citizens, the fact that you guys just don't care about the American citizens. You guys would rather care about the illegals coming in. You'd rather care about the Taliban and letting them lead you. Russia scoping out all our expensive military equipment. Joe and his entire administration, including Kamala, who is better at hiding than Joe and Waldo combined, need to go. They all need to go. They have failed us. This is no longer a left or right. I am no longer saying this as a conservative. They need to go. They have failed us. Freaking 300 American citizens out of the thousands. You won't close our borders. You won't take the actual steps that science and the people that have the know-how actually tell you. First, quarantine. Is there quarantining before you come into our borders? Are you outside a couple miles away quarantining these people? Are you letting them in? They should not even be quarantining here in America. They're not even citizens. They can set up shop outside. You have nothing. You have done nothing for us but divide us. You come in and say, I'm going to bring us together. I laid out my argument yesterday. Thought it was a pretty good argument. Time and time again, war can divide us. War can bring us together. It depends who's saying it. And we all have shown and seen that one side is always patriotic. The other side, they fluctuate depending on what their leader tells them. You could have used this to bring us together. You didn't. You could have used COVID to bring us together. You didn't. You're using it as fear. You're letting innocent people die over there. It's crazy. Wake the F up. Joe is no good. Kamala is no good. John Kirby, no good. The press secretary, can't even think of her name at the moment. She disgusts me. Can't even look at her. We'll circle around back to that. We'll circle around back to that. You are clueless. You have children running the show. The type that will, excuse me, what are we going to do to save our country? Well, we're going to sit there and we're going to put masks on you. We're going to boost you. What does that have to do? Did I ask you to interrupt me? I'm not answering your question. I'm just going to tell you that. We'll circle back to that later. This is what we get. Yet we had a president that had an administration that would sit there for hours on end answering questions and being fully transparent. And yet these stupid freaking media asinine would whine and lie and say they didn't answer. Oh, he wouldn't, or that his press secretary wouldn't answer questions. Bull crap. We've got to stop them. Turn off your CNN. Turn off your MSNBC. Heck, turn off your Fox News. Turn me on. I could turn you on. Sorry. But we got to stop. We got to stop it. And it is my best slogan in every video. We got to stick together and stop this evil. My whole, and hopefully you guys seen this, my whole thing today, point A was to show you how he was no good for the country and his polls are dropping because he can't even do one thing, commit to one thing. 30% of the country, it says that we're on the right track. Almost double that says that we're on the wrong track. Step 2, show you buyer remorse. Step 3, show you that his administration, his Defense Department secretary doesn't even know how many citizens we have. They didn't even couldn't save but 300 out of a couple thousand. I laid it all down for you. I could make this another long hour video. It's Friday. We got winners and losers. I didn't want to do that. He is no good. Kamala Harris, where's she at? No good. John Kirby, the other press secretaries, no good. No good. I keep laying them down for you. No good. They got to go. Bye. Bye. Kick their ass across the border and don't let them come back. They don't love America. If you hate America, you ain't a citizen. You don't have that right. I might not like it, but the only people that have that right, that it still bothers me, but you know what, are the people that fought. They actually went out and fought, and so they're entitled to their actual disdain or hatred or whatever has messed up. But you, if you didn't go out and pick up a gun and go over there or try to serve and spend a couple years of your life, keep your damn mouth shut because you don't have a reason. And if you don't like it, get your ass across the border and go to Mexico or Afghanistan. They'll love you there. I painted a picture that these idiots need to get out. I'm tired of seeing them, aren't you? They need to go. It's time to go. Joe, resign. Do the country a favor. Get every one of your people and resign. Take Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Maxine Waters, all those idiots that don't want to work for the American people, that don't want to do the job, that don't want to do what they were voted for. Take them with you. Go and live with the Taliban, you terrorist sick bastard. You're a pedo anyways, and you shouldn't have been in charge. Anybody that actually voted for you, they are sick themselves. Yeah, all of you. We need to get rid of them. I know I repeated that, but that needs to stick with you. We need to do what it takes to get rid of them. They are harming our country. They are killing them. We have American citizens. If the COVID wasn't enough for you to see he didn't care, if the border, if running down Wall Street, going after small businesses, going after your paychecks, and then them laughing and saying, but at least your hot dogs are 16 cents cheaper. Why all your other groceries and gas are going up. Why your dollar now is 15 cents. If all that didn't get you, look at their responses in the Middle East with the American people, and they have just like with the assets and the equipment, they have no plans. They don't know nothing. Get rid of them. No, don't wait just to vote them out. Start bombarding every office, every political office, your local, your federal, every single one of them, even if it doesn't make sense. IRS, you mail them, you text them, you call them, you blow them up and say, get rid of those no good sons of guns. They need out. Pray for them, but pray to get them out. The praying for them to do their job, just that alone, it's up. It's time. It's gone. They had 8 months and they don't care about you. They don't care about God. They ridicule your faith. It's time to go. They're done. They're done. I'm going to stop it like that. Move on. They're done. We need to do that. Call them up. Get them out.
I'd like to begin my comments tonight by reading a quote, which in essence is the genesis of all of this Black Lives Matter, social justice, CRT conversations we're having in our country today. Quote, I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color, close quote. Colin Kaepernick, August 2016. I am the direct descendant of the North American slave trade. Both my parents are black, all 4 of my grandparents are black, all 8 of my great-grandparents, all 16 of my great-greats. On my mother's side, my ancestors were enslaved in Alabama. On my father's side, we were enslaved in Texas. I am not oppressed. I'm not oppressed, and I'm not a victim. I'm neither oppressed nor a victim. I travel all across this country of ours, and I check into hotels, and I fly commercially, and I walk into retail establishments, and I order food in restaurants. I go wherever I want, whenever I want. I am treated with kindness, dignity, and respect, literally from coast to coast. I have 3 children. They are not oppressed either, although they are victims. I've taught my children they are victims of 3 things: their own ignorance, their own laziness, and their own poor decision making. That is all. My children, we are not victims of America. We are not victims of some unseen 190-year-old force that kind of floats around in the ether. Putting critical race theory into our classrooms is taking our nation in the wrong direction. Racism in America would by and large be dead today if it were not for certain people and institutions keeping it on life support. And sadly, very sadly, one of those institutions is the American education system. I can think of nothing more damaging to a society than to tell a baby born today that she has grievances against another baby born today simply because of what their ancestors may have done 2 centuries ago. There is simply no point in doing that to our children, and putting critical race theory into our classrooms in part does that. Putting critical race theory into our classrooms is not combating racism, it's fanning the flames of what little embers are left. I encourage you to support this resolution. Let racism die the death it deserves, and let's keep living the life of the country that we are. Thank you.
And that man that you just saw courageously get up and speak up, I don't know his name, but he is the winner of our week. People like that is what I talk about, standing up. So, of course, that it's going to get me all gooey. I love it. It gets me excited. It gets me happy. Gets me jolt to come in here and do what I'm doing. Seeing Americans like that stepping up. And did you see what he was? He wasn't a color. He wasn't a gender. He wasn't nothing. He was American citizen, a parent. He was somebody. And for that, you are our winner of the week. I encourage people to be like you. And thank you for stepping up for your children. Thank you for stepping up for my children. Thank you for stepping up for people like me. God bless you. And you continue doing God's work. And now for our loser of the week. Quite simply has to go to Kamala Harris. She's ahead of the border, hasn't been down there. She went to, when she did go down there, she went to the other side of the border where none of the problems were happening, where it was all fixed up, niced up, and shot up real quick, and she didn't answer. She just shot right out. She's letting all the people in, and she's hiding better than Joe and Waldo. She is pathetic. Nobody liked her. Nobody voted her in. She wasn't she was chosen by Biden. She wasn't chosen by the people, not one bit. So she is nothing. It's just a piece of crap, quite frankly, and she's no good. She goes out and throws people to jail, and then now she wants to spin it and try to get the Black American votes. But they see who she is. We see who she is. She is a loser, and that is why she is the loser of the week. And I have nothing more to say on her. She disgusts me also. So, bye-bye, Felicia. Well, got pretty pumped up. I can get that way. I can get sidetracked. I could lose my train of thought. I can get worked up. I'd be passionate. I'm a passionate guy. I told you I'm very much a person in my feelings, but I go logically first. I believe thinking logically, but I do have my moments, so forgive me. But I'm glad that you guys have been watching, and I'm thankful for, I talked to somebody today, and if they see this, they know who I'm talking about. They tell me how they watch me every day. They sit and, they call it the relaxing after work time, and they get down and watch my videos and laugh with me, and and told me how just for instance, one of my videos made them think, and it's again, it's those type of things that keeps people going. It keeps people motivated, and it's just those little things that go a long ways. And speaking of that, you know what time it is. So if you like what you saw, or you liked what you heard, or maybe, just maybe, you want to help a small starting artist get his videos out, why don't you like, comment, and get those notifications? Make sure you get all of them, and share that. Again, those little things, share me, because that's how I'm going to get out, through people like you watching and sharing me. You can play those videos and go on throughout, you listen to me, and then once you've got all the nutrition out of that video, you can set up a playlist and let those burgers just keep playing while you're watching TV or eating dinner or working on something. You can let those bad boys play and help somebody starting out. Makes a big difference. And it doesn't really stop you. It doesn't stop your day, and I'm good for you. I've said it before. I'm like the vitamin that you need. Well, this is our 4th week. I feel like we're getting better each day, and people like you giving us little comments, little feedback, it sure is helping, sure is that going a long ways, and it's motivating. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all your involvement. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you Monday. God bless.
Nope.